I was an Aikido Sensei for 3 years. At the time, I held a second degree Aikido black belt, an achievement that took me over 10 years of hard work to get. Yet deep inside, I felt a doubt. Although everyone was telling me that I'm a great martial artist, I wasn't really sure about my skills, but I couldn't tell why. One day, a foreigner walked into my dojo. He told me he was looking for a BJJ school, short for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We started conversing, and soon enough, he told me that if I'd be interested, he'd be happy to share his BJJ knowledge with me. I was curious about it, and agreed. My new friend showed me a couple of BJJ techniques, explained the rules, and then told me to just roll, slang for BJJ grappling, and to try to submit him. Being an Aikido black belt, I was expecting to pull off at least a move or two. The reality was, I couldn't do anything to him, while he completely destroyed me and submitted me every time. For some reason though, part of me wasn't surprised. The part of me which doubted my Aikido skills to begin with. Yet that did not discourage me from continuing to train with my new friend. In fact, it made me hungry for more. Soon enough, we were training and rolling almost daily. After 6 months passed, my foreign friend had to go back to his country. Yet after having trained all this time together with him, it was difficult for me to tell how much I progressed. Even if I did submit my friend once in a while, right after that, he would pick up the pace and quickly destroy me again. I would then realize that me submitting him was a consequence of him letting me do it, and not so much a result of my newly acquired skills. Before leaving the country, my friend was kind enough, with the blessing of his instructor, to award me 2 stripes on my white belt, a symbol of progression in BJJ. But I did not feel like I deserved them. My confidence as a martial artist was still missing. But I had this feeling that if I won't give up, I can discover it. So, I continued to train. Sometime later, I joined a BJJ gym. As I did not feel like I deserved the 2 stripes, I decided to put on a fresh white belt and to jump back into training. Here, a whole new set of challenges were ahead of me. Training at the new gym was intense. It was an all-out place where everyone was rolling at 100% capacity all the time. It was give it your all and submit, or be submitted. There was no middle ground. After training for a few months, I had a chance to participate in my first tournament. While I pulled off a sweet Aikido move at the beginning of it, I ended up losing. I then learned that I was rolling against a person who had 4 years of BJJ experience, much more than I had. Later on, I had another shot at the tournament. This time, I was rolling against another white belt. Yet I did little investigation into how BJJ tournament scores work, and I ended up losing again. Needless to say, that did not boost my confidence. Yet I was still hungry to continue to learn. I was still hungry to realize how that inner confidence felt like and where it came from. I just knew that it was somewhere out there, waiting for me to experience it. Before I moved on to my next BJJ journey's step, I was yet again awarded 2 new stripes on my white belt. My hunger to learn more and to experience inner confidence then led me to move to the States for full-time BJJ and MMA training at a gym called SBG Portland. Here, I removed my 2 stripes again. At SBG Portland, I trained with people of various levels of experience, but most of the time I spent rolling with people more experienced than myself. I had a chance to participate in another tournament, and this time ended up winning 2nd place, but I took little pride in that. I told myself that it was just an in-house tournament, and that I shouldn't think too much about it. After 6 months of training, my time to leave came. Before my departure, I met up with the head coach of SBG Portland, Matt Thornton, who we became friends with. As we arrived next to the gym after having lunch together, just before we stepped out of the car, Matt told me out of nowhere, "Oh, by the way, you're a blue belt." That caught me completely by surprise. Usually there is a ceremony where one needs to roll with all the members of the gym to receive a new belt. I realized an exception was made for me since there was not enough time to organize it before my leaving. Needless to say, I was very grateful. Also needless to say, I did not feel like I deserved it. My hunger to experience a deeper sense of confidence still pursued me. It was only in the next and final step of this story at SBG Ireland that something changed. I moved to train here for 3 months with a professional MMA team. Yet again, I was the underdog. These guys and women were way above my level. Most of the time I spent trying to survive the rounds without burning myself out. Yet one day, a couple of French guys visited the gym and joined the pro MMA training. During a grappling session, I got a chance to roll with both of them, and to my surprise, I was destroying both of them. I could not believe it. I thought to myself, maybe these guys are giving up for me, but that didn't seem to be the case. I then thought that maybe they're complete beginners, but that wasn't the case either. They were both experienced MMA amateur fighters. This experience left me puzzled, so I continued to observe what will happen next. Soon after, I joined the regular BJJ training, where I got to roll with people I haven't rolled before with. Once again, I found myself, quote-unquote, destroying a fair amount of my partners. Did you start training just recently? I asked, but the answers were no. Some of them trained for a year, some of them for 2 years. And then it struck me. Surely, there were still plenty of people who could have easily beaten me, but there was a great lesson that came to me then. I realized that all those years in Aikido, I was training with little to no resistance. The way Aikido is designed, you constantly submit yourself to your partner. You fall for them, they fall for you. In BJJ, it's mostly the opposite. You constantly test each other. You don't give out victory easily to your partners. You make sure they work for it and deserve it. Over the few years I trained BJJ, I felt like I've been through hell and back. I was choked out and submitted hundreds of times. At the beginning that sucked. It did not boost my confidence. But then eventually, after enough work put in, I started submitting and choking out others. And I knew for certain that these submissions were not given to me for free. I was technically still an Aikido black belt, but that did not matter to me at all. The black belt around my waist provided me with little to no confidence. Even the BJJ blue belt did not do the job. In the end, those are just pieces of cloth around my waist. What did make the difference was my journey. The journey of constantly being destroyed and rebuilding myself, again and again, to finally come out through the other side of great adversity. That was when I discovered real inner confidence. If you're interested to learn how I was attacked in the streets and what happened because of it, click on this video right here. Thank you for watching. This was Rokas, and I wish you to own your journey.